Pointless school rules.
This year, the genius lawmakers in Texas had the brilliant idea to completely ban phones in school. Of all the
I heard about that. My sister was telling me about that. That they like, well, I think here in Nebraska they did it. They like, well, at least what they were saying in high school is that they completely banned phones from like being in the school. I don't know, something like that, but I don't know.
Useless rules that we have to follow in school, this one might actually take the cake. Personal telecommunication devices may not be used at any time during the school day. This includes classrooms, passing periods, restrooms, at lunch, or in any other common areas on.
Which is dumb, bro, because like, not at lunch. It's lunch. You should be able to do whatever you want at lunch, bro. It's your fucking time to eat and do this thing. Just like a little mental break. But no, they don't go. Like, what the fuck? What is the point? Bro, people are gonna sneak it in anyways, bro. Like, there's no point.
On campus. Basically, get ready to bring your PSPs, 3DSs, Game Boys, and
They got a point. I didn't even think about that, bro. They got a point.
of course, your game.coms to school. Bro, what is that? My mom teaches high school, and she was telling me the other day how she supported the ban, saying that phones are a distraction. I was like, Mom, banning phones isn't gonna magically make students start paying attention. Kids who don't want to pay attention.
Yeah, bro. Banning phones, I think, is just gonna make the problem worse. Cap or no, chat? Let me know. Would that not make the problem worse? Because they're gonna be like, oh, we can't do this. All right, bet. And then they're just gonna try to sneak that shit anyways. So there's no point, bro. It's just gonna make the problem worse.
Are always going to find ways to distract themselves.
Literally.
You know how I know that? Because I was one of those kids. Back when I was in middle school in the ancient year of 2018, my school instituted a phone ban because the students in my school were scoring the lowest of any middle school in the district on average. Yeah, it was pretty ghetto. But the administrators thought if we ban phones, they'll have nothing left to do but pay attention in their classes. Now, back in middle school, I never paid attention in class. Not because I was a bad student, but because I was one of the few good students in my grade, but the material was so boring and stuff that I already knew that I'd rather be playing Jetpack Joyride on my phone or sending dog filter Snapchats to my friends.
I'll be honest, I was this type of student as well. I wouldn't pay attention, but not because I was dumb and I didn't understand the material, but because I felt like that shit was pointless. Like, I've been told multiple times, you know, I'm a pretty smart individual, but when you're telling me about fucking the Pythagorean theorem and the fucking what newtons, protons, and quatrons and all this other bullshit is, like, I'm not gonna pay attention, bro. This shit is boring as fuck. I'm not gonna pay attention.
Then relearn the Pythagorean theorem for the 40th time. But after the phone ban came, no more Jetpack Joyride, no more dog filters. I had to sit in class as my teacher droned on in the front. Have you ever gotten so genuinely bored that you start...
Bro, and if they were like... I remember in high school, they would like... I'm trying to think. They would like get mad at you for using your phone. But... they wouldn't full on take it. But they would get mad at you, like hella mad at you. It's like to the point where they would like send you to the office type thing. So instead of that, bro, I would just sleep in class. I'm gonna be honest. I would doze off in class. Because if I can't use my phone and I'm not gonna pay attention to this fuck ass professor who's telling me about the fucking Pythagorean theorem in fucking like 7, 8 in the morning, I'm not doing that shit. I have no other alternative but to go to sleep, bro. I'm not paying attention to that shit.
That happened to me multiple times after the ban, listening to these mundane concepts that I already knew. And the dumbest part is, all of the bad students didn't magically start paying attention and getting A's. They just became more disruptive in class and started acting out more because they didn't have their phone to keep them occupied. It was literally a loss for everyone. Luckily, once I got to high school, I was free from that stupidity, but this year,
I don't know why, but especially in middle school, that shit was... Bro, I remember when I was in middle school, it was way worse. In middle school, you would actually have to hide your phone or they would take it. Which was like... oh, what? Like... But in high school, they wouldn't do shit. They wouldn't take it, but they would tell you to... put it away, or they would send it to the office. Which doesn't make any sense, but I don't know.
Back for everyone. I was at the gym the other day talking to a guy who goes to the high school I graduated from about the phone ban, and he was telling me that it sucks. He says that school is way more boring and isolating now because he can't communicate with his friends unless they're literally in the same vicinity of him. Also, everyone just goes to their cars during lunch so they can finally go on their phones. Is that really better?
That is insane. Imagine having to go all the way out to your vehicle just to be able to use your phone. Like, I don't... Is that shit even legal, bro? What the fuck?
Than the way that it was before. I mean, I don't disagree that phones can be distracting in school, but I think outright banning them from campus doesn't fix anything for students or teachers. Banning phones makes almost as little sense as super soaker attack drills, if you catch my drift. First off, the fact that these even exist is insane to me. Super soaker attacks have gotten so prevalent in school that we literally need a drill for it, yet lawmakers think banning phones is a big...
Bro, yeah, see, like, in a situation like that, where your phone is probably, like, the most important tool to you, in a situation like that, you're telling me I can't have it on me. What kind of dumbass shit is that?
Your priority. But the drills themselves are literally the dumbest thing.
Bro, the drills are even worse. Bro, they're like, hide under your desk. Don't open the door to anybody. Bro, my desk is not gonna save me from getting fucking drilled. My desk is not gonna save me from the fucking bullets, alright? It's not gonna save me. It's not. I am running to the nearest window, and I am jumping out. I don't care if my legs break, but I am not getting shot. I don't give a fuck. I am jumping out that window, bro. My chances are probably better running into the hallway and trying to dodge the bullets of the shooter than to actually hide under the desk and get caught and then just get fucking aired out. Like,
I've ever heard in my life. Oh, someone has a super soaker on campus. Let's all hide in the same corner of the classroom. That way, when they burst through the door, we can make it easy for them. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but if someone brought a super soaker to campus when I was in school, I am booking it off campus as quickly as possible, preferably with 2 or 3 of my homies. That way we have a fighting chance if we...
I am fucking full on sprinting fucking... I'm talking prime Usain Bolt, like, out of there, bro. I don't care. I'm hitting the... I don't care. I'm out of there, bro. Nothing's keeping me in that school. The door's not keeping me in there. The windows aren't keeping me in there. I am gone. My chances are better running out of the hallway than being cuddled in a corner. And most times, the shooter goes to the school. Then they know the drills. They know where to go, bro. So it's like, it's the stupidest thing ever. They have to, like, figure something out, bro. Because, like, what the fuck?
Run into the guy, I am not sticking around in a campus being target practice in the corner of a room. The weird thing is, the longer I was in school, the more I felt like a super soaker attack was a real possibility. Like my senior year, it got to the point where I was like, okay, just gotta make it to October. Okay, now it's October, just make it to January. Okay, now that's January, like please let me just make it to March. And eventually it was just, okay, please let me make it to the end of graduation and I'm free. And even at the graduation ceremony, I was looking around like, please God, let me survive this. I want to make out with at least one girl in a college dorm before I die. And I survived and proceeded to make out with a girl in a college dorm.
Hey!
So appreciate that, G. But yeah, the drills, they gotta go. They're clearly there to give off the illusion of safety without accomplishing anything. Just like wearing ID badges. They started enforcing this sometime when I was in high school, and it literally might be the most useless thing we were ever forced to do. Teachers were like, we need to identify everyone on campus in case of an event of danger. And it's like, bitch, what is...
I don't think anybody in an event of danger is going to check your ID badge.
The ID gonna do to stop anything? The only thing wearing IDs accomplished was ruining every fit you wore and being hella itchy around your neck. Plus, whatever printer they used to make our IDs was the most incompetent piece of technology ever, because everyone who had brown skin just turned out orange, and I was out here getting roasted by my friends cause this racist broken ass machine. I can't think of a single legitimate argument for enforcing IDs other than giving students a tool to cut up their Kool-Aid with whenever they snort it. Being forced to wear IDs annoyed me a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I can't talk from experience because we never had to do that shit in my school. But I mean, that shit seems annoying.
But it was nothing compared to taking final exams.
Introducing Grammarly, like you've never seen before.
In high school were low-key not that bad. My teachers were low-key make like a fun way of doing final exams. So
University now, and final exams make sense for college courses because the entire course is based around like 3 exams. But back in high school, it felt like it was just this AIDS monster that was hanging over you the entire semester. Like, I would do so much work on the in-class assignments, homework, quizzes, tests throughout the semester, but then 20% of my grade would be the final exam. So if you bombed that test, your grade could go from a 97 to an 85 real.
yeah, no, and in college it's definitely like that. In college, bro, if you do all the assignments in class and all that, it doesn't even matter, bro. If you bomb the test, you're cooked. You're basically chopped cheese. In high school, though, that shit was way different. In high school, you could make up most of your grade with like in-class assignments and homework, and your test would impact it maybe like the slightest. You could get like the lowest grade on the test, like a C. And it would keep you out where you're at. It wouldn't even lower your grade. So I would use that cheat code. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Quick. The worst was in classes like history and psychology that were all memorizing terms and dates, cause whenever we took the unit tests, I would spend the entire night before cramming, memorizing as many terms as possible, take the test, and then forget everything immediately, because that's how those tests are set up. They're not tests of understanding, they're tests of memorization. So by the time the final exams came around, I would essentially have to relearn everything by myself in the days leading up to it. Crash course history came in clutch more times.
That's why in college, bro, oh my god, I fucking suck at college, bro. College is not for me, bro. I'm not. The only reason I passed any of my classes is because I cheated. I don't give a fuck saying that shit out loud. I don't care. I cheated in all my classes. Not on my test. Actually, no, I cheated. I'm not gonna lie, I cheated on some of my tests too. I don't give a fuck. It's just like the only class I didn't cheat on was math. Math is like the only thing that you actually have to learn. Like, you can't cheat on it. But like any other class, bro, I'm cheating. I don't give a fuck. I'm not. You think I got time to sit here and write 6-page essays? No, bruh. I don't got time to sit here and write 6-page essays about why or about how the US and the fucking the US and China had their I don't know, bruh. I'm not writing 6 pages about history. I'm not doing that shit.
Times than I can remember. The worst part is final exams are a district policy, because I had a friend who lived the city over and he didn't have to do any final exams throughout high school at all. All y'all from Frisco, Texas, first off, some of you are actual degens, I'm not gonna lie. And second off, you don't realize how lucky you were that you didn't have to do final exams in high school. That was just a looming pressure that was constantly there in the back of my mind. The only time I didn't take final exams was second semester of my senior year, because there was this policy where any senior who had above an 85 in an AP class was exempt from taking the exam. But it's not like we could go home or hang out with our friends. Everyone who was exempt from the exam had to sit in the gym during the time period that they would be taking the exam, which made literally no sense. But on the last day of school during my senior year, when they finally let us out of the gym, me and my friends and some other students all went to Krispy Kreme because they had this special where they were giving out a free dozen donuts to every graduating student. Shout out to Krispy Kreme for that. That's a big G move. So we all went to Krispy Kreme and the workers were handing out donuts to all of us, and then one of the kids in our group, and for some reason, I will always remember this. He walks up to the counter and says, "Don't you want to check my ID to make sure that I'm actually graduating?" And then he pulls out his school ID and shows it to the worker without them even asking. Something about that really ticked me off, and for whatever reason, I still frequently think about it. Anyways, those were some annoying school rules that I had to follow. I'm sure your schools have some really pointless ones that you have to follow as well, so let me know in the...
I'm trying to think of a pointless one. They wouldn't give us, like, tags or, like, badges that we'd have to wear around school to go to the bathroom or whatever. But they would just give us, like, random hall passes. Like, let's say this bag of cheese. They would give us this bag of cheese and be like, use this as a hall pass. Like, why the fuck am I using this as a hall pass? Just give me, like, a tag or something. Or they would be like, here, use this as a hall pass. Man, this is a battery pack. Why? I don't know. I guess it would be easier, bro, because they could just grab whatever the fuck they want and be like, here, use this as a hall pass. So I guess that makes sense, but, like, they'll just make an actual hall pass. And there'd be some teachers that would make hall pass. They'd have, like, the thing that says hall pass on it, but there'd be some teachers be like, fuck it, grab the craft cheese and just walk off. Okay.